Hi there, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the Woodland Sounds activity, and this is the end of the lesson plan, which is from the Traditional Tales Unit Lesson 5. And in the lesson plan it says that we're going to ask the children what they might see or hear in the woodland as they travel through. So you might remember that in the previous activity we sang the song Walking in the Woodland, and as an extension to that song we talked about what they might see, what can you see, and we made some sounds. And hopefully from that activity you will have taken a list of things, and then we can use those in our Woodland Sounds activity. So I've collected some ideas, and with the help of the children I have drawn on the whiteboard a woodland walk, and here's my path through the woods, and you can see that it ends at Bear Cottage where the 3 bears live, and it incorporates some things along the way. Now yours might be a little bit more creative than this. If the children have come up with some weird and wonderful ideas, that's fabulous. Why not put them on the map? This is all about storytelling and creativity. So I wouldn't think twice if you had a tiger on there or a lion on there or something fantastical on there. But you put on your woodland walk what the children have come up with. And some of these ideas will have been from the Walking in the Woodland song as well. So you can see on my woodland walk I've got some puddles, some birds in the sky, some squelchy mud, some frogs in the pond, a little river, a rotting log with some spiders and some creepy crawly creatures on there, a tall tree, a bit of a pebble path here, some squirrels, and some tall grass all the way up to Bear Cottage. So what I'm going to first of all do is I'm going to ask the children to suggest some sounds that we might hear if we walked through these or past these. So you can imagine with our voices we can do lots of sounds, a bit like the going on a bear hunt activity. So the puddles, you're going to ask them to suggest splashing sounds and making vocal sounds or even body sounds to do these. Birds, we can play with whistling sounds, and we can discuss how difficult it is to whistle, and maybe they can make some high singing sounds for birds. Squelchy mud, croaking for frogs, and trickling sounds for rivers. You can think about how you can use vocal sounds for all of those things. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the children into groups of 3 or even pairs, but you probably won't have enough. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 10 little scenes here. Have I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So this would be 10 groups of 3, which would be enough for a class of 30, wouldn't it? So I'm going to ask each one of those groups to come up with some sounds for each of these things. So I will allocate one of these to each group. Now you can either get them to do that with their voices and their body sounds, but if you wanted to, you could incorporate some instruments here, and it's a nice way of starting composing. You know, you might have some little eggs. I'm just going to put this down. You might have some little eggs or shaker instruments which make some nice watery sounds. You might have any sorts of collection of scrapers. This one is a scraper and a shaker. But just dig around and see what you can find in your musical instrument boxes. Some nice metal sounding instruments, and I'm sure you can also incorporate sounds non-conventional instruments like tables and chairs, scraping chairs. These Bottles make excellent scrapers, maybe not with the water in, but you get the idea. Scrapers, and also you can fill up bottles with water to make splashing sounds, or even other things to make sounds that you think you might come across. So once you've got all of that in place, what we're going to do is actually just talk through the soundscape. So you showing the map to the children, and you're going to work around the group, so that if I was doing this, I'd have the children sitting in a circle, and each group would, three children in the circle would be the next one on my path, if that makes sense. So I'd start with my puddles, hear my splashing sounds. Next group would make the bird sounds, and so on. So really, I'm not, this is an introduction to composing and making sounds and coming together as a whole group to produce a piece of music, or for a story, a musical story, if you like. And I'm not going to be too fussy really about what they bring. It's their interpretation of the sound. And if they can spend just a couple of minutes in their group and come up with some sounds, that's brilliant. And then we just organise it all back into the group. If you wish, you can thread these sounds together. Once you've had a practice at putting all these sounds together, you can thread them together with some footsteps. So you can say we're walking just like you would do in we're going on a bear hunt or a lion hunt, and walking through the woodland. Can you see? You can even make up a little rhyme like that. We're walking in the woodland. What can you see? I can see some puddles. Splish, splash, puddles. And then you can get your group to do its puddle sounds, and off you go to finally arriving at Bear Cottage. So I hope that's given you some ideas for a start, an introduction into composing. Obviously, these activities are great for cross-curricular links. This leads us really nicely into storytelling and that kind of literacy, those kind of literacy activities that you could now move into. Thanks very much for watching.